Hey, Carla. Alrighty. Were you here? Did you get to see the first part, Carla? Hello, ladies. I've got all my goodies ready, I think. Try to be organized. Hi, Darla. Hi, Mitz. Hi, Donna. Yeah, Mitz. So, if you guys can let me know if you already saw the first part, just say yes, no, and then I'll know how much, just quickly I need to review about, part 1. Hi, Linda. Okay, Donna didn't see it. All right. Mitt saw it. Hey, Luann, how you doing? Okay, Darla. I think I need a refresher too. Okay. It looks like Patricia's the only good girl that saw it and doesn't need a refresher. I saw that super swap you got from, who did you get that swap from? The eyeglass swap? That was super cool. Oh, Mindy was good too. Okay, I missed that. Hey, Laura. Okay. Okay, Linda. Yeah. I think we'll have just a really, a real quick refresher. Hey, CJ. Oh, Renee. Wasn't that amazing? We had a swab in my group that I hosted, and it's a template, some templates that I got out of the Stampington magazine, and they have the free templates online. And it just happened that there was 12, so we decided to do one a month. And the one that we did for the month of, okay, it must have been for July, it was a pair of sunglasses. And Renee, she got the sunglasses, but she put it on a, oh, what do you call those boards? Oh, dear. Like an electronic board, with all the doohickeys and components. I'm saying the wrong word, but you guys know what I mean. And she put the glasses on top of that. And it's a piece of art, It is really super cool. Motherboard, thank you. And then she put the glasses on it. Oh my goodness, that was so cool. It's more of assemblage that she did than anything else. It's really, really neat. It's one of the most creative things I've seen so far. Hey, Johnny, she's awake. I thought for sure she'd be snoozing after her dinner, and she's so tired, I'm sure. Oh, she's sorting. Oh, so that was a man's touch to that art. Very cool. Okay, so just as a little review of what we did, this isn't something I came up with. I saw a old video. I tried to look for it in the interim and I couldn't find it again because I saw this a long time ago. It's not even in my history anymore. I've been through maybe 2 computers since then. But um it's about it. The video that I saw was about 8 years old. And what they did is they took envelopes and they stuffed them with cardboard. Oh, this one's already little, yeah. Let me get a little piece of card. Here's cardboard here. All right. So what they would do is they would get an envelope, right? And you can use old envelopes. You can use new ones to make them look old. You can recycle your junk mail, whatever it is you want to do, whatever look you want. I went sort of for the vintage look. And you get the envelope. And if you don't have anything that looks the way you want it to look, then last week what we did, we made some look old. And so what we did is we got some cardboard and cut the cardboard so it would fit inside of whatever envelope that we chose. And then we just kind of crunched the whole thing to make it look ratty and old, been through the mail, and look like, you know, a journal that Johnny had mailed off to somebody. We won't say to who. And and have it look sort of like the post office had its way with it. And then if you have old stamps, you could put old stamps. I happen to have a little collection of stamps that, you know, have to do with postage. So, you know, we used that and we put little marks, you know, on our mail, you know, to make it look kind of cute, you know, the cute look. And so we did that. And then we came back. If you think ahead, I wasn't thinking ahead. If you think ahead and you want them to look vintage, you know, you could coffee stain them, tea stain them, whatever you want to do. But we just kind of started off fresh. So I came in with the distress ink and then just kind of, you know, mostly put it on the edges because as you'll see, that's pretty much what's going to be seen after you do all this work. Not a whole lot of the envelope show except for the top one because we're going to stack them. And so then we decided, or at least I decided for me, I chose about, I think it was 6 envelopes. You can have it as many or as little as you want. And then we decided that we were going to come back this week from last Saturday. Where we left off was cutting out these niches. Is that what you call it? A niche? Niches? I don't know. Holes. Cutting holes in these envelopes. And because we want it to look like a stack of envelopes that have been saved for a long, long time, and you just found it up in the attic, I suggested that these envelopes, once we stack them together, that they'd be in odd shapes, just not stacked up together. So we started off with a size, and I just arbitrarily picked a size only because that was the only thing I had close by, so I picked that. But it can be as big or as small, you know, depending on your size of envelope. But keeping in mind that when you stagger them, you might be getting close to the edge. So you don't want it so big that you don't have room to maneuver the staggering of your envelopes. That's where we left it last week because I started to cut them, and I hate X-Acto knives. I hate cutting with stuff, and it makes me nervous enough to do it because I'm always freaking out I'm going to cut myself. So it made it worse doing it, you know, in front of you guys. So I said, this is a good place to stop. I'll go cut stuff and hope I don't cut myself, and then we'll come back tonight. So that's where we are right now. I've come back. I've managed not to cut myself, and I cut these in all of them except, oh, also, if you haven't done this yet, the bottom one, obviously you need a bottom to your, what ends up being what I call a little box. You need the bottom, so you don't cut the bottom one out. And then you need a lid to your box, so the top one you don't cut out either. But all the rest you cut. Now, the one that I was working on originally is this one right here. Oh, and also, remember, we put some cardboard in there to make it sturdy, but to make it look like something's in there. You know, it gives it the illusion that there's stuff inside of your envelope. So don't forget the cardboard if I didn't emphasize that. Okay, so what I did with this one, I figured since I made the mistake and started gluing it, so I started another one so I could pretty much show you what I did. This is the glued envelopes that we did last week. I went ahead and cut that out, and then, like I said, I made a mistake and started gluing them together. so what I did, let me see if I'm in great. First of all, let me stop, see if there's any questions before we go any further. Let me look up. I have a hard time doing this and reading at the same time, mainly because of my glasses. Okay, let me see, because I have to get closer up to my monitor to read it because it's kind of far away from me. Alrighty. Yes, Mary, there is cardboard in each one of these. And you can have as thin as cardboard or as thick cardboard you have. I got some packages that were sent to me in, in the priority boxes. And so what I ended up doing was chopping those up. But to me, they were a little thin for what I wanted, so I doubled them up. So, and I probably could have put 3 in there to make it a little chunkier, but I was too lazy to cut some more. So I ended up putting 2 in each one, and that, made it thick enough, But like I say, you can do it as thick or as thin as you would like. All right, so we've got the bottom one, and what I did is I traced out my pattern on the bottom one. And then to cut these out, what you basically do, I'll do it with this one, that's going to be my lid. You need to start positioning them and kind of see where you want it to land, because I wanted, as you can see, I staggered it so you could see bits and parts of each envelope, at least a little bit of it. And from the side, you can see the stamps and you can see if there's any writing. And so you want to stagger to see that, or else, it just looks like a stack. I can get it out. A stack of envelopes. So you do it the way you want it, how staggered you want, or, whatever you want to do. They can go this way. There's no wrong or right way. I just basically kind of moved them around to show off some of the color of the stamps, or, whatever it was that I put on the envelope. I just wanted to highlight that. So what I did, you do whatever is easier for you, but what I did is I positioned the bottom one straight so that I had a point of reference. So when I went to angle this, when I come to bring what I'm going to cut with, I want to make sure that this is straight with that, so that after I cut this out, then it's going to stay lined up exactly where I want it to go. It's not going to, be straight, because if you just cut that out, then you're going to line these up to make this hole, and they're just going to be lined up straight. So you need to put it the way you want it and make sure that this is straight and parallel with the bottom one. And then you stack them up and it'll all line up when you're done. Yeah, styrofoam would be great too. Really anything. You know, anything that isn't too heavy. You don't want it to really be bogged down and heavy. But anything. I mean, even if you just got newspaper and folded it up and put it in there, you know, to make it the thickness that you want. Whatever you want to, you know, basically whatever you have, whatever you want to use. If you had, you know, poster board stuff, anything that you have. So that was the next step that I left you guys with. I think I'm pretty sure last week was to, you know, stagger these up and cut your holes out, and then we would come back this week. And so that's where we are right now. So I will show you what I ended up doing, how I ended up putting these together. Now, when you decide how to cut them and you stagger them, what I did, because I easily confuse myself, I put a number on the back. So I would know which one I positioned where and how it's supposed to go, or, you know, else I was going to forget for sure. So this is number one. Now, one thing I did forget to do, what you need to do is point an arrow which goes up, because sure, it's number one, but now does it go this way or that way? I have no idea. So because I wasn't smart enough to put an arrow. You guys be smart enough to put an arrow. But if I just stagger them right now, I'll figure out. This is number two. It'll be obvious, at least to me, because I remember kind of sort of what it looked like. That's two. And here is three. I think maybe I went this way on this one. No, I didn't, because then it would line up too much. So that goes right there. And, uh-oh, I have two fours. See? See, I try to be organized and I still mess up. Okay, let's see how this looks, how we should do it. Let me line this back up again. Good thing I'm among friends. My goodness. Oh, man, she's an idiot. All right, so maybe, just maybe that goes there, because I don't have anything sticking out there. But we can test it and put it this way and see if you like. No, see, I already know. That goes this way. Yeah, see, I just don't know which four goes where. Let's put this one here. I like that. Ah, there we go. And now this can go here. And I like that. I like that. Okay, so I don't get confused, because now I got to take them off to glue them. So let me put some arrows. And so this is really 5. And that goes up. That's 4. That goes up. Learn from my mistakes. Okay. So we got that part, I think. So now you can glue them down any way you want. You can use hot glue. You can use regular glue. You can double stick tape, you know, whatever you want to use. And so I don't have to wait till things dry. I'm going to use the double stick tape. I have this tape. It's really cool. It's masking tape, but it's double-sided. And I got this at some thrift store. So I'll just use that, because I think, oh, maybe there won't be enough room to do that, though. Wait a minute. No, because of the angle. See, I can see right here. I can't. That's too wide. I have some other double. Hold on. Let me go get that for a second. And if you guys are working along with me, and you already cut your things, make sure you have them numbered and don't make a mistake like I did. I'll be right back. Now, I only have a little bit of this tape. What do you think? Oh gosh. I got this. Shannon Green brought this over. I think she brought me enough. What do you guys think? Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to put it on here because I'll be able to see where I'm going to be going off the mark here. Yeah, Shannon was coming over and she goes, Rosemary, I have some double stick tape. Can you use some? And I'm thinking, you know, when normal people ask you if you need some tape, they bring you over a little roll of tape. So I go, sure. Okay, now the thing is, I'm going to cover up that one. Now the thing is, she didn't bring me just one. I think she brought me, oh my goodness, I can't remember. But it was the day I was doing my encaustic workshop here. And so guess what those ladies went home with? They each went home with one of these. They were happy campers. Okay, so I'm putting the tape close to here so that out on the edges, in case it's overlapping, it's not going to hang over too much, if any. All right, so that's one. And I guess I should put it down. This is the part that's scary because I won't be able to pick it back up. If you have any questions on that, Valerie, just contact me. Because I contacted some of the students because when they were doing the transfer, the ones I asked, they said, yeah, we did the transfer. It worked, you know. And when we did the transfer here, I need a knife for that. It didn't work with all the papers. It only worked with some of the papers. So, like from magazines and stuff. So some that took from one magazine, it transferred super cool. And then for others, it didn't. So I made a copy of the of whatever they were using for the magazine and just used a copy from my machine. And it was just regular. It's not laser. And it transferred. So I don't know. I guess, you know, the different inks in different magazines. So if it doesn't work for you with one, don't get discouraged. It might just be the magazine. It's not you. I'll show you when I'm done here. I'll show you one of the ones that we did in the class. I did in the class because I was, as we were doing the class, I was demoing, you know, each step, and it came out kind of cool. All right, so now look at the arrow. I gotta look at the arrow because 2 seconds I'll forget what I'm doing. Let me get it closer to me so I can get a bird's eye view. Then I'll put it back up for you guys. Okay, so there you go. You've got number 1 down. Hooray. All right, put that down. It's a little clumsy using this big thing. Oh, dear. Can't complain. It's free. I hope Shannon's not watching. It certainly is. The mother, the father, the cousin, the in-law. It's everybody. Oops. Alrighty. You know I hate these X-Acto knives. Somebody, who was it? Somebody here, I can't remember who said it. I was X-Actophobia or something like that. I had an X-Actophobia. I do. And you know how much we have to use these knives. And what really creeps me out is watching videos and other people are using the knives. I can't even watch them. Especially if it's live. I'm just waiting. And when they're using those guillotine cutters to cut paper live, I don't watch those either. Because I figure, you know, someone's finger is going to come off and I don't want to watch that. I guess I have a knife thing. I didn't realize that. And Shannon wasn't sure how old this tape was. So it's kind of really sticking to that stuff. But once you get it off, it works pretty good. Can't complain. Okay. Number 2, look at the arrow. Don't mess up on your second one because you'll be very upset with yourself. Okay, there we go. Number 3, rosemary. The amount of envelopes does not matter at all. I actually think it looks better when you use different sizes of envelopes. It just happened that I did not have the right size to, you know, commingle with these, because either they were too long and they would be floppy, or they were too small and I couldn't cut the hole. I just didn't have the right size to make a variety of sizes. But I think it would actually look better if you had them in different types of envelopes, and, you know, maybe different colors and different sizes, because it would really look like a stack of things you've received through the years. It looked cool. So, but I figured as a demonstration, and we can imagine that I did it the right way. Just work with me now. Pretend. We're all playing pretend here. And you can have as few or as many as you want. It's your little pile. It's your story. Uh-oh. That was up, right? Remember, put an arrow on the back, too. I think that was up. Oh, gosh. Rosemary. Yes. Okay. Remember, put an arrow on the back one, too. You can always erase it later. Oh, and Deb, she's been doing lots of Digi. She's becoming the Digi Queen of Canada. Go check out her Etsy shop. You're going to have to teach me how to do that. Put your, I don't know if you can put your link. I know Darla can. Where's Darla? Darla, put, oh, what you called my, you could, Oh, aren't you the smart one, Darla? See, Darla needs to be in everybody's chat. I didn't know that. I can use some glue stick and then it doesn't stick right away and I can reposition. Well, that is like the best tip I've heard in a long time. Anyway, Darla, can you put Deb's Artsology's link to her Etsy shop? I think that's the name of her Etsy shop. I forget people's names of Etsy shops. I just click on new release, new listing. Okay. Very good. 4. Yeah, Darla is the smart one. You want to know who the smart one in the room is? I vote for Darla. Not that there aren't other smart people in the room, but I think that if you're smart, you'd admit that Darla is probably the smartest one. Because if you don't, then I'm not sure if you're the smartest one in the room either. Okay. She did. She had your back. That's how Darla is. She's kind of like a stealth. She's lurking back there, seeing how she can help everybody out. Watch the knife, Rosemary. Don't get all creeped out. I used to, when I was about, maybe around 12, 13, 14, around that age. For like about 3 or 4 years, I had a reoccurring dream. I should say a reoccurring nightmare. Because I would wake up sitting up in my bed screaming. And it involved a knife. And I think that's why I'm paranoid about knives now. I mean, it lasted for like 3 years. And I would have that dream like once a month at least. Talk about exhaustion. That was exhausting. Okay, arrow that way. Okay. All right, so we got that so far. We got one more to go. Oops. Hey, I saw somebody say Mary. Mary's here. Mary, Tanya's here. But see, Tanya, that takes a lot of brains to remember to do that. See, that's why I need you guys. I need you guys. Okay, but now see, now the trick is, where the heck is the pokey tool? You know what I'm saying? That would require remembering where you put it. Where is my? I know I have some. I know I have them. So see everything behind. Oh, this is pretty cool. I could use this. Thank you. I'll be able to sleep tonight without having to have a flashback nightmare. See, I need you guys. Of course, it was with the last one, but still, I need to be thankful. Good idea. Man, 2 brilliant ideas in like less than 5 minutes. Whoops. Watch the arrow, Rosemary. Watch the arrows. Watch the arrows. Are you going to be, whoops, what did I do there? Oh, it's not cut all the way. Or you'll probably be very upset. Okay. So now that one is to the stage where this one is. Now, I think on here I put 3 layers of the cardboard, and you can see the height difference already. See? Whoops. Yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, hopefully. All right, so now the end, just so we know what we're striving for. Now remember we saved one that we didn't put a hole in. This is going to be our lid. And you'll get, I'm sure, some of you have, old letters. If not letters, you have postcards and stuff. And then that's what you can stagger on the top to give a little bit more realistic looks, because you've got a blank there if you're using brand new envelopes like I did. And so you could stagger that on there. And now this is, you're going to be creating a lid. All right, just so you know where we're headed. But before we do that, we're going to figure out, everyone can do it a different way of what you want to do in here as far as finishing it off. Now, you can put paper here. You can put cardboard here. You can put fabric here. Pretty much whatever you want to do, whatever your look we're going for, because you may not be going for the vintage look. You might be, going for some other kind of look. So this is where you kind of, stand back and say, what do I want to do there? And I think that's what I need to do too, because I didn't plan ahead and I actually don't know what I'm going to use there. So I do have this this paper that I just got to using on another little journal. I just saw it right here, because over here by my cutter, and I just love this paper. I don't like it for anything else except for like on books, because it's thick and it's got flocking, and for it to be a page or something, I don't like it. But don't you think that would look yummy in there somehow? Woo! I like that. Let's see. Let's just see, and it doesn't mean it's going to have to be that way. But let's just see what it looks like on the bottom. We may end up going with something completely different. Oh, don't do that. Look what I did. I messed up the whole thing. Don't do that. Pay attention. Okay. Of course, I think that might be my last piece. I'll go hunt. I might have some more. All right. Oh, hey, look at that, troops. Doesn't that look kind of cool? I like that. And then, should I put the same, oops, what did I drop on my pen? Hold on. I wonder if I should do something different over here or just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. I don't know. I better stop and read, see what you guys are chit-chatting about. Let's see. So what do you guys think? Should I try something different in this one, or should I just go with what we got happening over on this one? Probably should make it different. Huh? What do you guys think? Ooh, good question, Valerie. I think it's all up to each individual what we're going to keep in there. I thought it'd be cool if you put little treasures in there, or if you made a small little journal that fit right in there. I just got through making, I'll show it later, a little bit later, an example of putting trinkets and cute things in a little box. I was sharing that with Laura last night, little small things. For instance, I'll show the little small things. I won't show the whole thing, just the small things. Hold on. Like, I had this little miniature little book that I have. And then I have a little box that has a bunch of cute little knick-knack token things. And see, that would look cute just sitting in there. What do you think? I think that would look cute just like that, right? So really pretty much anything. Something secret. This here is not sticking on this one corner. I might have to shoot some glue in there. Oh, no wonder, because I didn't take the little tapey thing off. Hold on, let me see if I can get the cover to the tape off. This is going to take some maneuvering. I was wondering why it was kind of flip-flopping over there like a fish out of water. You can do this, Rosemary. Whoa. This is when I need nails to grab it. I can't grab it. Okay, here we go. Now. Okay, now the fish now has water. Very good. That's good. It works now. All right. Okay, we're all good. Okay, so. Yeah. Yes, Mary. Rule number 1. Remember to take your cover off of your tape before you move on. Should be rule number 1. All right. So I guess I'm going to have to go look for something to put in here, or maybe even the raw look. I like the raw look myself. I think it looks pretty cool. But for the sake of showing how we could cover it up, maybe I'll leave one raw and I'll cover up the other one. So, you know, something like cheesecloth, you know, if you're going with the vintage look, cheesecloth would look good just glued in there and creating like a little nest, a real little nest right? Let me go see what I've got. I'll be right back. Chit chat with yourself, please. Now, if this was cream, this would look pretty cool, but of course it's not. You could put that in there. That's one idea. If you had a piece of lace that was bigger than that, and you could cut it down to the right size. But that's, to me, too white. I guess it really all depends on how finished you want it to look. I don't like necessarily things that look finished. Like I said, I like raw edges. I don't like hems. I don't like things that are tucked under. So I don't know. I got to think about that. Maybe for this one, I'll. Let's see what it looks like just around the edge. I don't mind tearing stuff apart. I will sacrifice. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, you can pretty much do anything. I saw in there a couple of suggestions. Somebody say gesso. Gesso would be fine. Washi tape. Really anything. It's just up to your imagination. It's all that depends on the look that you are looking for. And there's no wrong way. Like, for instance, if I was putting those little things I showed before that have sort of a little Victorian look to them, well then this would be the perfect little thing to house them like that. And then, peekaboo. So I think just to go with this look, I'm going to go ahead on this particular one and just put some of this. And I'm just going to put it down with some fabric tack because I know it will stick and stay. And dry quickly so we can move along. Put a little extra and then I'll cut it afterwards. So what I'll do here, I'll put a little bit of the tape on here to keep that down. Use the pokey tool. Thank you. Hi, Kathy. And everybody else I've been missing. Let me put this in there. I have to hold this up to do it. See what I'm doing. Okay. That's good. Fabric tack. Okay, here we got fabric tack. Okay, what's going on, you guys? Gotta see what's going on. Right. Who's got grasshoppers? You know me and the bugs. Okay, so depending on what you decide to put on here, then, you use the appropriate thing. If you're putting paper, you can do the double-sided tape. You can use glue, whatever you want. You're going to put cardboard. I'm just going to put this silly gauze in there. Let's make it real simple. Oh, Carla. Well, it's a good thing I like bugs because, I mean, not that I, have pet bugs or anything, but they don't bother me. And I'm intrigued by bugs. And when we used to live in Hawaii, there was, bugs everywhere because of the moisture, the humidity, the overgrowth. They were just everywhere. And and the geckos are everywhere because they're eating the bugs. It's like a, smorgasbord over there for the geckos. Like, what should we eat tonight? Well, we had over there. Well, there's all kinds of cockroaches, and they all, do different things. And the cockroaches that one of the type of cockroaches in Hawaii, they're like about that big, like the big water bug type ones like they have in Florida, except they're not water bugs, they're real cockroaches. And then of course they have the smaller ones, but the big ones, um, they eat a lot of the stuff, the little small little bugs that eat at plants. So in Hawaii, they're not like these cursed varmints, You're like, okay, you're going to keep the bugs away. We're happy. And then the geckos, nobody gets rid of the geckos because the geckos, eat up other bugs and eat their, and eat their eggs, the larvae. So they're the heroes over there, the geckos, for sure. All right, so I'm just going to lay this in here and hope for the best. And I'm going to leave it hanging out a little bit. And if I don't like it, I can always cut it back. That's the beauty of scissors. So when we first moved to Hawaii, we wanted to not so much a minimalist, but we just wanted to simplify our life and, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy paradise. So we didn't get, when we first moved there, we didn't get a TV. We had a computer because I needed it for work, but we didn't have a TV. And so we had these big picture windows in the living room. We had 1, 2, 3 of them, and then a sliding glass door. So it was like practically everything was a window. It was like we were living in a fishbowl. And so at night, we'd turn the outside lights on and turn the inside lights off, and all the bugs would start gravitating to the light, no matter what kind of bug they were, night bugs, mosquitoes and all kinds of bugs. And so then here comes the geckos. They're going, dinner. And we literally, my husband and I, we called it gecko vision because we would sit there. We were easily amused. We would sit there and watch these crazy geckos trying, everybody vying for the same bug. I mean, there was like, 30 bugs and they all wanted the same one. I guess it was the biggest one, or he smelled the best, or I don't know what. And then we found out that geckos are kind of vicious. They attack each other over food. And they yank their tails off of each other. I mean, that's the way they're made. I mean, they do just kind of, that's how they get away from the bad guys. Their tail just kind of breaks off. So it's natural, but still looked, it seemed funny. They're attacking each other, and the only thing he gets away with is the other guy's tail. Meanwhile, he runs off and gets the bug that the other guy wanted. And he's going, ha, 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 I got the bug. The other guy's saying, ha, 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 I have your tail. So I don't know who was the winner in that case, but it was definitely interesting. I can say that. Okay, so now, I don't know, it's starting to look like a coffin. I don't know. What do you guys think? It looks a little bit like a coffin. Oh, dear. Well, too bad. I'm leaving it for now. I'm not ripping it out. Yeah, a postal coffin. And I kind of like those, but I don't like it sticking up. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of glue just so that it lays down. Just so it lays down. Just a little bit all the way around. Yeah, the only other small creature that I've been around that I think is a little more vicious than the geckos are hummingbirds. They look so cute and innocent, and they are vicious with each other. They're very territorial. They fight with each other, and they can do some damage with those beaks, let me tell you. Not pretty. Just when you think you know somebody, they get vicious. Yes, exactly, Tanya. They want the same one. They're going, that's mine. No, that's mine. No, that's mine. And then they get all crazy. That's why I took mine down. It wasn't fun to watch them because they were just like beating up on each other. So I said, okay, forget you guys. All you get is the flowers. You're not getting anything special from me. Okay, so now in theory, this one is ready for the lid, right? I would say so. So let's see, which one do I want to use? I got 2 lids here, one for each one. And then I looked for a couple of envelopes and stuff, and I just basically, glued them with the same tape together, and to kind of see, how they could line up on the top. Same thing could be done with, it fits for either one of them. So let's just go with this one for now. Okay, so now when you go to put your lid on, you can put it anywhere you want it, but make sure that the side that the hinge is going to be on, that your envelope does not go past it, because it's going to hit, and then it's always going to be rubbing, or it's going to be folding. So make sure the hinge side, that your envelope is not hanging over on that side, but it can hang over anywhere else. I learned that the hard way. Learn from me. Okay, so I think if I were to put the hinge somewhere around here, or even like that, I could put that there and make sure this doesn't go past. And then there you go. You have the little lid to your box. Cool. And then, well, let's just do one stage at a time. All right. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, so now you can decide what you want to use as your hinge. You can, what I like to use, I say like, I've only made one other one of these. I'm talking like I made 100 of them. I've only made one other one, but it was fun when I did it. I gave it away, so I can't even show it to you. Somebody saw it and they go, oh, that's so cute. And I said, oh, please take it. Okay, so what I did is I had some muslin, and I made the hinge out of muslin. And what I did is I just cut a strip, and I glued one part of it to here and the other part to there, and that's how I created the hinge. You could also put a strip going, lengthwise, depending on where you position it. Like on this one, if you put it parallel to the opening, you could put a piece of fabric here as the hinge, and right here, and that could be your hinge to open and close. And you wouldn't have to put the hinge across this way. So those are the 2 basic ways that I would think would be the easy way to do it. I'm sure you guys could come up with other ideas that might be even easier, or maybe more difficult, but maybe look better. But that is what I would suggest, because it's hidden, and that way it still looks, it still looks like your stack of precious letters if you do it that way. So I will go find a little piece of muslin so we can see what this little puppy looks like finished. And I will be right back. I have to rip a piece. I'm going to do it as 2 small hinges, I think. Well, that's a little thick. But that's okay. That's okay. We can thin it out. All right, so now we have to make the decision, like I said, are we going to do it parallel with there? Or are we going to do it a little bit of an angle? So let's see. Let's see what I like. And it doesn't have to be on this side, right? It can be on this side too. It can be anywhere. Let's see which way it looks better. Hey, I kind of sort of like it over here. Because I like the way it lines up. Yeah. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Okay. Yes, Rosemary. I think I'll do it, put it right here. And there's enough room to put a small little hinge right here. It's got to be small, narrow. And then one here. Or you could put it on there. I think that's what I want to do. Is that what I want to do? I think so. Let me cut that off because that's hanging too far over for where I want to position it. All right. I think so. You got the vote? Sometimes I second guess myself too much, what I want to do. Yeah. I think so. Now, before I do that, I just thought of something. Yeah. How? Let's see. If I put that there and I put that like that, I think it would look cute. Let me go get something. You can tell I really have this planned out and have everything right here to work with. At least you know it truly is spontaneous. I think that these should be tied up together. But I'll glue it down first. Make sure it's not going past the hinge. Oops. Get my fake letter back in there. Make sure that's not going back past the hinge. And take that down. That'll be first. I need to let my nails grow. They grew out, and I have my hands in the water and in that dye with my eco dyeing so much that I hate how it goes underneath the nails. So I just keep cutting my nails back because trust me, it looks grosser with all that eco dye stuff. It looks like I'm digging for worms or something. Okay, not that that's a bad thing, but okay, remember now, hinge is going here. Don't let that go past that. Okay, so now I always forget which way to start. I just start this way, right? Yeah. Okay, let's just tie a regular old knot. Wait, what am I doing? I'm doing something wrong. Oh, hello. Oh, I see what's happening. Never mind. It's because it's pulling, because it's not, they're not straight. So I can't be pulling it tight like that. Let me start all over. Push this over here a little bit more. Hold on. I need to make my life easier for me. Okay. Easier. Now you just tie a regular bow right there. Okay. Let's see if this is all going to work now. Where was I putting this? Was I putting it here? Oh, gosh. I forgot. I think so. Oh, yeah. It's going right there. Okay. So, oh, this is getting cute. I like when things come together. Wah, wah. Oh, no. I can take the tape off now. Okay. I needed it to tie it, but I don't need it to stay there. Oh, I know what I'm going to put. I already know. Oh, I don't think I have any right now. Wow, this tape sticks. Okay, do I need to put anything there? I don't think so. I think it's okay, but I need to tie that better. I know. If I untie it, I'm going to mess it all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot there so it isn't so loose and wonky. Okay, that's better. That's better. All right. We might be ready for the hinge finally. I'm thinking. How far do I want to go? I need to put a little mark and then to erase it later. Because I'm not judging it right when I open it. Yeah, see, I would have put it way over there. It needs to be here. Uh-oh. Then that means I don't have enough for the hinge. I'm doing something wrong. I'm going to have to just move it over. Yeah, it's going to have to go over a little bit. So, oh well. It's going to have to go more over here. I don't like that emptiness there. So I'm going to put a stamp there because I've just got a thing about empty spaces. Drives me crazy. Crazy, crazy. Especially with something like this that's so busy. You don't want this empty space around. See, just something small, something cute. Just to fill the void. See? It looks so much better like that. Okay, back to this. So I think we just better put the hinge here and forget about it, because if I keep messing with it, who knows what'll happen. Okay, so we're just going to put that right there. Put the hinge here and here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, oh, here we go. Here we go. I don't want it that thick. I want it a little thinner. And I want it probably about maybe that long, which is how long? I know when someone's going to say, how long is that, Rosemary? That is 2.5 inches long. But it can be as short or as long as you like. And I don't think I want it that thick. I don't want it half. I want about 3/4 of what that is, which ends up being, but Rosemary, what does that measure? That ends up being, whoops, I don't know, centimeter from a centimeter. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. I hope somebody's writing these things down because I'm not going to remember. All right. So I think this only needs to be about maybe that big, which is, how big is that, Rosemary? That measures 1.5. All right, so I need 2 of these. I'm very precise and exact on my measurements, as you can tell. I do my crafts the way my grandmother cooked. Just watch, kid. I don't know the measurements for anything. Okay. All right. That's gonna go there. That's gonna go there. I don't want to make a mistake. So this can go. I need to put a mark and then I'll erase it later. Okay, so now I know where to put the glue. Put the glue across like that. And we'll have a hinge. Let me get things ready. Okay. That's too long. I'll cut the excess off. Okay, let that dry a little bit. Because if I go and close it now, you know what's going to happen. The treasure will be lost forever. Whoops. See? Okay, let that dry for a minute. That dries really fast if you guys have worked with that before. Okay, what's going on? What's oops? What happened? Yeah, somebody was selling stamps. I can't remember who it was. And I remember nobody wanted them. They were surprised. You don't want any stamps? Who was that? There's just way too many sales. I can't keep up with them all. Oh, yeah, we're watching glue dry. Joni has stamps? How come she hasn't spoken up, or has she? Somebody just said they had a ton of stamps. Was that Joni? I just saw the end of it. It moved up. Oh, yeah, Selena does have stamps, but that's not the person I saw. I saw that she was selling them, yeah. Oh, I didn't get to answer the question. Does it have to line up with the box? I wasn't, well, I wonder what she was asking. I think she said she left, right? Mm-hmm. I need to look up more often. Yes, this is the easy way to make a hinge. I did a whole journal with these hinges. Where is it? I know it's up. I know the where I'm looking. It's right over there. I can't remember where it is. Let's see. You think this is dry yet? Probably not. Is it dry enough to close? Probably. Oh. A little leftover glue there. I don't like that. I can clean that up. Yep, there's some glue there too. Well, a little distressed ink can cover that all up. And the way that's put together, you could even slip in a postcard if you want with some cool writing. I like the writing in this one better. There you go. That's kind of cool. Hey, what do you guys think? And then, ta-da! You have your little treasures in there. Let's put some treasures. I don't want to tear that. Well, I gotta wait. It's not glued enough yet. I mean, dry enough yet. Let me get the treasures. Let me get the treasures so we can see what the treasures look like in there. Here's the little guy. The little guy, he's so cute. Or you can put a letter, or you can put some jewelry, or whatever it is you want to put in there. Exactly, piece of jewelry look cute. You're quite welcome, Shane. And you know, this is just one look. It could be, you could really have a neat, like a travel one, you know, where you've got manila folders and different things and big stamps on it and canceled this and canceled that, and a real traveler one. I think that'd be cool. I think I'm going to try and make one of those. And then have a little small little, oh, and then inside you have a little journal that's a little passport, a passport to travel. I better stop giving you my ideas. Okay, shut up, Rosemary. But that would be cute. A little passport to travel. Aww. What? Start over. Carla failed. Carla failed. Failed what? Where's Carla? I can't even find Carla. Carla. What did you do, Carla? I don't know what Carla did. Oh, she found that out over at the other live. She knew when I was coming on, so don't feel bad. Who's more of the cheese, you or her? Ah! I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you guys know the basics of how to put this together. You've got the lid to this one over here. I got some postcards. I don't know what I'm going to put, how I'm going to finish this one off inside, but it can be done pretty similar, you know. No, that doesn't fit. I didn't judge that right, did I? But this could be kind of cool with what? I'm trying to think what I have that I would want to put on there. Hello, Miss Ellie. Okay, so it clear as mud to you guys how to put this together? Oh, I mean, you want it. We can give you affection. We can give you affection. We could even like put your address on the envelope. Now, every time we looked at it, we think of you. Show you love. Well, you can always figure out how to do this on the repeat. It'll be there. It looks a little flimsy, but I think it's sturdy. It's sturdy enough. It can handle some abuse. Boing. I got to put this back where this belongs. And then, like for a cute presentation, if you had... Yes, I'm off again. Hold on, I just got an idea. Because see, this could be like a little separate bundle, right? But then you have the whole thing. Then you have the whole thing bundled up. Oh, what's this? Oh, hold on. You can tell I tear everything apart. Oh, doesn't fit. Well, almost. I have the technology of how to make it fit. And because it's long, we can go around twice. And then over there. Create our little bow. And we are all set to go. I think it's cute. Oh, what do you guys think? I think so. All right. So, oops. Okay, so the other day, you guys have time? Or are you guys tired? You have time for something else? Let me put this away. Or are you guys pooped? It's been a long day. You guys been spending your money all day long. Yes, you're tired, or yes, you have time. I need a drink of water. Water. Okay. I had a couple of other nights ago. I can't remember because I don't do live streams, you know, on a schedule. So it was, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before last. I was talking about aging tape to look, you know, like it came out of an old book, how we like it. You know, old books are all taped up and we love that look. Okay. So I had figured out a way to do it, at least one way to do it. And so I wanted to keep it a secret for a little tiny while. So I was the only one that was having fun doing it. And then the other day, you guys know Debbie from Ephemera Vintage Garden? You guys know her, right? Right. I know you do. Anyway, she put out a video showing how she does it. And I had two ways of doing it. And the way she showed it was one of the ways that I do it. So I figured, okay, well, the secret's out of the bag. So I might as well just share both of mine because you guys, if you watch her video, you already know how to do it. And so what's the point of keeping a secret when it's not a secret? So I will show you guys how I do mine. And then, you know, everyone will be doing it, and then it won't be special anymore, and it'll all be your fault. But far be it for me to be greedy. I will share, but then it'll be your fault because it will be everywhere. Okay, so let me get, again, I got to run. I need to go get me some wax paper. I lost my wax paper. Uh-oh. Where'd my wax paper go? Because I was playing with it last night. Oh no, seriously, where'd my wax paper go? I can't do it without my wax paper. Wax paper. If you saw what this place looked like right now, you'd be surprised I could find anything. Okay. Seriously, where is my wax paper? Give me a second. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere because I was naughty and didn't put it away. Oh, here it is. Ha! Right in front of me. Because I was naughty and didn't put it away. I'm usually pretty good about putting things away because I have so much junk. If I don't put it away, I'll never find it, just like right now. Okay, so we need this. We need, where is my tape? Oh no! Oh, see what happens? Oh, here we go. I need tape. I need to feel those little spongy wungy things. Hold on. See if I have enough. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I might have to get me a brush. Okay, I guess I gotta, let me hold on a second. Okay. I need a thin kind of brush. You can use a little spongy thingamajigger. You need, and this is very important, this is what they call clear tape, which is not clear, it's foggy. Tell me why they call it clear tape. You don't want that. I mean, that's what Debbie used, but I would suggest not to use this. And what you use is transparent tape, totally and completely see-through. Okay? You can obviously see the difference. See-through. That's what you want. All right. So let me get this out of the way. So we've got the tape, transparent, and we need some wax paper, a brush, a sponge. Let me get this stuff out of the way so I don't make a bigger mess than I already got. And oh, I need to open that can. You'll need a can for the can. I mean, a can opener for the can. And where's my little stirring? My little stirring doohickey thing in the jigger. Oh, here it is. And one stirring doohickey thing in the jigger. Now, get this also out of the way. Okay, are we still here, people? Very good. So you get a sheet of wax paper. I tried other kinds of things to put the tape on. It sticks to almost everything else except your wax paper. So yes, you can try other stuff, but trust me, it's not going to work. Not if you want to do the tape ahead of time and not use it until, a couple of days later. If you're going to use it that second, I guess that's fine. But if you want to make a lot and store it, you got to do it on wax paper. Okay, so now it becomes very high tech. So pay attention. You put the tape. You put the tape on the wax tape paper. Now this is, this takes a lot of discipline. I say it jokingly, but you can't see where it is. At least I can't. And I'm going, oh no, where is it? So it's the easiest part and it's the hardest part. Oh, see, I can't see where it is. Uh-oh, see? I'm telling you, it's the hardest part of the whole thing. Don't laugh at me. It really is. Oh, I guess for those of you that don't know what we're making, maybe I should show you what we're doing first. Instead of going, what? Okay. Oh, where do I? Oh, I have it. I'll show you on this. I had some of these pages from, a photo album, and I did something with the album, and I took these pages out, and they were already all torn, but I wanted to use them for something else. So I made this vintage tape, and I put it on the corners where all the tears were. So this is what we're going to be making. Tape that looks like it's been there forever. Okay. I forgot. Some of you may not know what we were going to do. So that's pretty much what we're going to be making, okay? All right. Oops. Okay, so way number one. It's Timmy again, okay? I hate to say it, but it's Timmy again. Let me see which colors. And this isn't the only way, so if you don't have these, don't despair. We'll go to the second route in a minute, because I'm not even sure which way I like better, to tell you the truth. Okay, so the Timmy way, I have these colors. I have ginger, latte, caramel, and what's this? And butterscotch. All right. Now, if I can see where these things are. Okay, what I did, and let me get this little thing, and I got to take that off of there. A little spongeroony. It's new again. All right. I don't use a certain amount of any one. I just kind of start pouring it out. So just open these up a little bit and hope I don't knock them all over and make a mess. I know some people have suggested doing it with distressed ink, but as you all know that work with distressed ink, it never dries, and so it rubs off and gets all messy. And if you're doing some kind of mixed media, you can't put anything over it, and so on and so forth. You know how that goes. Okay, so let's see what this is. Let's just start putting some color down. And as you can see, the color is already creating. And then we just build up until you get the intensity that you want. This dries very, very quickly. It's permanent. The tape we're using, I remember, is completely transparent. So you're going to be able to read through it and see the letters and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And so if you want it darker, you know, after this top coat dries, which in about a minute it's dry, less than a minute, you know, you can come back and put some other colors or, you know, just build up on what we've already put down. Let's see. And I like to use the different colors because, you know, when your tape gets those colors, it's not one color. It's a rainbow of those amber colors, right? Okay. Simple, simple. How simple could this be? Oh, I figured Laura would make rainbows. Let's do one more row. Where's the tape? Where's the tape? And you can see I didn't lay this flat because I couldn't see what I was doing. So some of the tape isn't adhered. So some of this is going underneath. So that's going to even make it a cooler look. See, this one over here is already dry. And so there you go. It is literally that simple. Now, not everybody has these inks. Not everybody wants to pay $6 for each bottle. We've got how many bottles there? You don't want to spend all that money just to make this tape. I understand. If I didn't have these already, I would not have bought them for this. But they were there, so I used them. But what I did first, before I did the alcohol inks, which I think maybe I like even better. Maybe I should keep that one as a secret, but I won't. I'll be nice. My favorite go-to for anything that I want to have this kind of a hue or an amber look to it is shellac. And a lot of you that are into mixed media, you know, you use different kinds of shellacs from different companies. I don't use any of those shellacs. I use the shellac that comes from the hardware store because my background is construction. So, you know, those are all my go-to things. Stuff that you can get at, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, any of those places. Okay, so I don't know how sealed this is. This is the one that I would suggest if you end up wanting to use this. This is what I would suggest that you get. These little bottles are how many ounces? They're ½ an ounce. So for the price of 2 ounces of this stuff, you can get 32 ounces of this, and it costs the same. It's about $12 it would cost you to get those, or maybe a little bit more, and it costs you $12 to get this. So, and one of these, and I use it for a lot of things. I use it for stuff in my home, on furniture that I redo, for this kind of stuff. I use it a lot, and you know, one of these will last me a year. So for you guys, it'll last you a lifetime. All right, so, and it cleans up with water. It's not, even though it has a tiny bit of an aroma, it's not toxic. For those of you that's never worked with this before, it is not toxic. I don't really smell anything. My husband says he smells it. I don't smell it. But, you know, it is what it is. You just stir it up a little bit. Already you can see the color's identical, right? Or really close. All right, let me get that out of the way. And this is already dirty, so let me just use this. You can use whatever you want. A brush, spun brush, this thing. And then all I would do is I put this, and I put several coats, and it gets darker each time. And after, and this dries really fast too, almost as fast as the alcohol does. And just let it dry. And I ended up putting maybe 2 coats or so, and it ends up looking just like that. 2 or 3 coats. So if there's other things that you would do with this amber stuff, amber shellac, obviously I would say, you know, go ahead and get the big thing. If you don't think you're going to use it for anything else but doing this, well, go for Timmy. You know what I mean? And there you go. That's as easy as that. You're going to let this dry completely. And then you come back and you give that a couple of coats. And the amber deepens, and it ends up looking just like that. All right. Any questions? clear as mud, everybody? What colors of Timmy's ink? Hold on. Hold on. Excuse the vibration, but I gotta put the lid on or else I end up dropping it. Oops. And these are really old, so I don't even know if he still has these same colors, to tell you the truth, but I'm sure he has something similar. Okay. This one is caramel, ginger, butterscotch, and latte. Latte. If you don't want to get them all, the one I think that works, that gives the best colors, are the butterscotch. It gives more of that warm undertone. The butterscotch one and the, let me check. I forget which one. For sure the butterscotch, because you don't need all four. It just happened I had all four, and I played with them all. But yeah, for sure butterscotch. That's a for sure. And I think it's the caramel. Yeah. Those two mixed together is what makes the really pretty color. So we just wanted to start off, you know, depending, I mean, if you want to buy them all, buy them all. But for those that, you know, are unlimited income, I would say for sure the caramel and the butterscotch. For sure. Because you can see the color. Look, see how pretty that is. Okay. What is the base of the shellac? The shellac is the poop of a plant of a bug. Speaking of bugs, it's bug poop. That's the base of it. Yep. The old bug poop. All right. So, hey, I got 4 to play with already here. I can play with these tomorrow. And you can put the ink over the shellac and the shellac over the ink, and it works. And it works. Yeah, those bugs are everywhere. Shellac. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, you guys got to just Google it. Come on. Come on, Darla. Shellac. Let's see. It says it can cause irritation to your eyes because it is flammable. While it's still wet, don't dry it with a heat gun. Woo! Hello. No, don't do that. It dries fast enough on its own. It's not flammable after it's dry, but as it's, you know, doing its thing. What is process and stow? And oh, I didn't read the top part. Yeah, see, it is a bug. Hello. I think that's why I like it so much. I think that's why I like it so much. It still gets me in one with the bug. Okay. Food glaze, bug poop. Okay. It's not 10 yet. What else do you guys want to know? I'm in the mood to share. I may not always want to share. What is Johnny, what are you asking? What is the alcohol ink mixative used for? You mean literally this? Is that what you're asking? Like, why would you buy this in the first place if you didn't do this? A mixative to use with the alcohol ink. You know, I know they sell a lot of stuff in it, almost like extenders or something. I don't buy all that stuff. I think that's when you're doing different forms of art with your alcohol inks, with the UPO, and when you do it on ceramics and things like that. And because I don't do that, I'm not really up on all that. But I think that's what that's for. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Mary knows. It's a silvery, shimmery additive. Very good. See? Good thing I didn't pretend I knew what it was when I don't. Oh, okay. See? Hey, we all learn stuff. Yeah, check with Peg. Exactly. Peg knows. But I bet she's like a alcohol artist. We're just faking it with this alcohol stuff. Just faking it. I mean, used to be past tense. Okay, that is dry. The shellac is still a tiny bit tacky, and of course the alcohol is completely already dry. But this would be dry, you know, like in like 5 more minutes. You could take this up and start using it that fast. So I hope you ladies enjoy making some of that and using it. Who was I talking to that wanted to see something with the encaustic that we did in the class? Now I can't remember who it was or what I was going to show. I know I was going to show what I made in the class when I was doing the instructions for them. I'll show you that right now. Of course, it was an elephant. You know it was an elephant. This is the cover I did with the encaustic during class. And so what I did is I had an old ledger that I had gutted and, you know, was selling the pieces parts on my shop, and just, you know, turned it into a journal. And then somewhere in here, I think. Yeah. See, I used some of that tape in here just to make it, to add for it to look kind of older. In some areas, I don't remember where now, to tell you the truth, but yeah, see there, I used it in there. And then if I had done some paperwork and it had some real tears, like this had tears in it, so I put that on there. And oh, I see some back here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, so this, I'm going to put a picture in here, but I put that down with the tape too. Now, see, this is all the ones I'm showing you right now were all done with the shellac. I did these before I did it with the alcohol ink. So all the shellac ones are the ones that are in this book. So, but it was fun. We had fun doing it, and I liked putting that tape in there because it add, to the authenticity, a look like authenticity. It is going to be for sale. I haven't decided the price. I've finished this, I don't know how long ago, and I just keep going back and forth, what I'm going to charge for the book. But yeah, it's for sale. It is. Yeah. Yes, it's for sale. It's what's the word? Priceless right now. And then, Laura, should I show him the other one I made? What do you think? Oh, she wants it too. Well, you may want the other one too, maybe. Hey, a twofer. A twofer. Okay. All right, ladies. I showed this to Laura last night. I wanted to show it to Patty because I bought the original from Patty, but we didn't connect yesterday. She's been pretty busy. She went out and got a big haul. But wait a minute. Anyway, I got a photo album from her, the old style photo album, and it was one of those what do you call that? Now I forgot the name. Is that celluloid? Is that those celluloid covers? Somebody help me. Is that what they're called? That hard plastic covers that are on some of those old albums? Is that what it's called? Celluloid? Okay, even if it's not, that's what we're going to call it. And some are in good condition and some are in bad condition. And so she was selling different ones that were in pristine condition. And then she had one that was kind of cracked and, it had seen better days. So she was selling it super cheap. So I bought it, not knowing, well, I thought I knew what I was going to do with it. What I was going to do was fill in and glue down, and then I was going to do some encaustic work on it. Once I got it, I didn't think it was realistic, my original plan, but there's always plan B. So that's what I did. And when I got this, remember now, it was all broken up, and the lid was in really bad condition, and it was a cream color. And so this is what I ended up doing with it. And I did, the cracks and stuff were up here somewhere. So I did repairs on it. I glued it down. I filled it in with some filler. And then I sanded it all down so that, hopefully you can't see where it was all lifting up and, having a crazy time. So anyway, so some of you, I've mentioned it before, but maybe a lot of you don't know, I used to be a gilder in my other lifetime. I gilded frames. I worked for a gentleman that hand-carved frames that went in museums, and high-end artists would buy his frames. And I started off as a sander, sanding with my little fingers and the little things, all the carvings that he did. That was my job. I sanded and sanded and sanded until my hands were like raw. And so he's what he told me later, I didn't know at the beginning. What he told me later was that he had asked me other kinds of things, and he thought that I might be a good gilder. I don't know why he came to that conclusion. He never told me that, but he was from old school, and he believed that if you were going to be a good gilder, you had to know that frame from the beginning to the end, or else you weren't a craftsman. You were just some laborer doing stuff. So he wanted me to learn. So he would do these frames, and I would, sand them at his place, his studio. And then he got to the point where I said, oh, I don't have enough time to get this done. And it was, anyway, he says, take him home. Take him home. You can go home if you want. Oh, thank you. So I would work at home and do the sanding and take him back. And then he had a piece of nylon, and he would run the nylon on it. And if anything caught, it had to go back home with me because it wasn't ready for the next stage. And the next stage was giving it to the gilders. All right. So what I did with this book is I prepped it the same way I would have prepped these old frames that would be brought in, and we had to repair them and then re-gild them. And so that, in my mind, you know me and my stories, but it's a real story. This is what I did with this. I repaired it, and then I gilded it. Okay, now to gild something is extremely expensive. I don't have those things, but we used to do what we called real gilding, and then we would do the cheapy gilding, and that was for up and coming artists, or artists that couldn't afford our real stuff. We would do everything in imitation form. And so you guys have probably heard of metal leaf and stuff like that. So the high-end one was done with gold, and then the cheap ones were done with composition gold. Okay, so what you really do when you really gild, we'll have gilding 101 real quick, is the first thing you do is you do any repairs. You do the sanding, you do the repairs. The next thing you do is you put gesso on it. Now, I know you guys, when you hear gesso, something comes to your mind, but what comes to your mind is fake stuff. It's not even real. I know you guys, think you're gesso connoisseurs, but the majority of you have never, ever touched real gesso. And so you don't know the difference. This stuff that we play with is acrylic, and you know the difference between real stuff and fake stuff. Acrylic is fake, and real gesso does not have any acrylic in it, doesn't have any preservatives in it, doesn't have anything. And basically it's just chalk and glue. And the glue comes from the hide of a squirrel, I'm sorry to tell you. And so we would get these pellets of glue, and you have to heat it up to a certain heat, and then you put in the chalk. You cook it to a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. You let it cool down to a certain temperature, and you start putting the gesso on the wood at a certain temperature, or else you're going to mess it up. And then you let it dry, and then you put another coat. And we would have to put anywhere, depending on the client, we would have to put 8 to 16 coats of gesso. Between each coat, we had to go in with the finest sandpaper you could ever think of and rub that thing down so you could not see the brush strokes that you created with the gesso. Just playing with acrylic gesso, you know how hard that is, okay? Imagine, 16 coats of that, and, okay, you're getting the picture. All right. So after the 8 to 16 coats and the sanding to make it look, beautiful, then you would put on what's called bole, B-O-L-E. Bole is a liquid a liquid clay that you add the same kind of glue that we put into the gesso. Again, you've got to heat it up. It's got to be a certain temperature. And then you brush on the bowl on top of the gesso. And depending on the client, how many layers we're going to put, because we know some are fussier than the others, but you put at least 3 layers of the bowl on there. No drips. You can't have any drips. You can't have any marks. If you do, you got to go in the sand. You got to fill it in with some bowl again. Okay, so now you're done. You've got 18 coats of this, 4 to 6 coats of this, and now you can bring out the gold. Oh, I forgot one thing. The bowl is usually red because it's red clay. So you have the white gesso, then you have the red clay, and then you have your gold. And the red clay, the reason why they do the red clay is because it helps, because the gold is so thin that, it's not obvious to the naked eye, but the gold is reflecting the red from underneath, and it gives that warm tone to the gold. So it really makes everything look more beautiful. Okay. So now you come in with your brush and water, and you literally take your brush with the water and you go like this. And what you're doing is you're activating the glue that's in the bowl, and you come with your gold and you lay it down and you do it over everything. And of course, when you lay it down, it's never, ever perfect. That's why when you see frames in museums or even fake frames, they try to make them look authentic. You have different little cracks and things in your gold, and then you sometimes see that little bit of red popping through. And they're trying to simulate that bowl that is underneath the gold. Okay. So that's pretty much what I did with this. I put several layers of fake gesso. I didn't obviously have bowl, so I put several layers of some paint that was the color of clay, pretty much. Put several coats of that. And then I came with some glue that's specially made for the metal leaf. Came over with the glue, laid my gold on there, got that all done, and then then you have to burnish it. You burnish it with a brush, going like that and all that kind of stuff. That's what they call the burnishing. So I did all the burnishing on there. And then what we would do, because they wanted their pictures to look, their frames for the pictures look authentic and look old and antique, like they've been around for 200 years. We had this special powder that we would put in the corners of the frames to give it the antique look. So I did that here. This, I don't know if you can read it, but it says album, and there's a few flowers and things that are here that were naturally already part of the album. And so in there, I put in some of that powder. Then you come back, and what we would do is we would glaze the gold, because nobody likes, gauche gold. It's just gold. Nobody wanted that on their frames. And they're always, even, hundreds of years ago, they were antiqued with different kinds of glazes. So we would come and put glazes on it, depending on what colors we had, different samples of what they wanted. So I made my glaze, and I glazed that. And that, my friends, is all the stuff I had to do just to make the cover. All right. Oh gosh, yes. So this was the velvet cover. It's worn on the corners, very worn on the corners. And the black isn't so bad. I mean, the back isn't as as bad as you would think. It's got worn right here, and it's worn here and worn here. But I thought, it needs to be authentic, because I'm trying to make the front authentic. So why would I, mess up the back, right? Okay. So inside, the pages were, like I said, really bad. I showed you the ones earlier with the tape. They were kind of a mess, but I worked with what I had. I had to, you know, do something. And I'm not done with this yet because this right here, you know, obviously somebody took a pin to that. I got to cover that up somehow, you know, because I don't like that. Anyway, and these were needed to be glued together because they were kind of messy. And you can see they're falling apart. And so I glued them together to give it some stability. And then I put some of my fake tape on there just to kind of secure it and make it look like it should be like that. You know how it goes. Okay. So then this was a little bit torn here too, and these were a little bit torn. And like I said, all the rest was just a mess. And I didn't want to make a journal because it's kind of big and thick and heavy. And I didn't, you know, it would be humongous. So keep in mind what we just got through doing here, right? And so basically that's what I did with the inside cover of this album. I created one big giant niche in here, and I cut all those up just like we cut, you know, just how, whoops, where we go. Just like we cut these up, I cut all of the pages to this album. All right. Just so you know what's going on. And then I went into imagination mode, and then I just filled it up with stuff. And of course, you know me, I make up my stories for everything. It may not be the same when I told you, Laura, because I don't remember what I told you my story was. So it's gonna have to be another story. It'll be a different one. Don't start adding me. Don't say, but you said Rosemary. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. So what I imagined this here was that, first of all, the lady that put this together, she was putting it together to pass on to her daughter. All right. So she didn't have very much from her own mother, and that's why she wanted to save things for her daughter. But from her mother, about the only thing she had was from a special dress, because her mother wasn't wealthy, but she had one outfit that had this beautiful tatting on it. And this is the only thing that was left that she could get a hold of that was basically in one piece. So she decided she wanted to save that for her daughter. And then she wanted to save a piece of her own wedding dress to pass on to her daughter. So those are the only two pieces of her mother and herself that she was able to save for her daughter. And then she also saved a little piece from her daughter's dress that she had when she was a little girl. And so she wanted to save that for her daughter. So that's also what she put in the box. Then her husband, he had been in the war over in Europe. And so she cut this out of a magazine during the period of time when he was over there in France. And so she wanted her daughter to have that as a keepsake, that her husband, her father, had been, you know, a hero during the war. And then these were some of the pictures. She's not sure who they are in the family, but she found them in a box, and she knows that they're some relative in the family, and she wanted her daughter also to have those. And then this was a little book that she had as a child, and so she wanted her to have that little book so that maybe she could write, you know, some of her little memories and maybe hopefully pass on to her daughter. And then in this little, she's got a little box here wrapped up in this lace. And there was just little things that she wanted to keep that made her happy. She has some little roses that were in her little daughter's dress, so she wanted to save those. These are her favorite little toys that she herself used to like to play with as a young child. She loved her little dominoes. She had her small little miniature ones as a child. These are the buttons that came from her husband's shirt from when they got married. So she got to keep those buttons, pass on to her daughter. And then this was an earring. She only has the one that she remembers that her grandmother had. It was the only pretty shiny thing she owned, and she only could find one of those. One got lost somewhere. And this is a key to one of their first homes that they had. And then this little seahorse reminds her of when they used to go down to the shore. And so she wanted something to remember that by. And then these little beads came from her wedding dress. They were, when they're walking around and moving around, things happen, and some of the beads broke. And so she collected them and saved them inside of the bottle to share with her daughter. So these are, like I say, these are all the things that are going to go to her daughter. Also, this is her daughter's first card from when she went to school. So she wanted her to have that. And this is her father's card and her mother's calling card. They had those two, so she wanted to save that for her. Oh, this is one of those ones. She wasn't sure who this was from the family, but she wanted to include it. And then some postcards that they had received from the holidays. So she wanted to make sure that she at least had a couple of those cards from when she was young. And then just some postcards that maybe she wants to write or journal something on. Now, they bought a house. And the house that they got here, here's the title that they, when they were purchasing it, trust deed, from 1868. And so, it was their only house. They lived in it all their life, and they thought it was very special. So she wanted her daughter to have a copy of that. And then here's a copy of the check where they made the last payment on the house in 1887, so that she could have the memory of knowing, when her mom and dad owned that home, because of course she was going to pass it on to her daughter. And then they had a business, and so she wanted her daughter just have a copy, a little memory of the business that they used to run. And this shows the taxes and accounts receivable and stuff like that. And in here is a peacock feather. And what this reminds her of is they used to go down to the south in Savannah, and they would walk along this beautiful, beautiful mansion that they had spent their honeymoon at, and they had these peacocks everywhere. And so whenever she thinks of her husband and romance and happier times and healthier times, she always thinks of those peacocks, how beautiful they were. So she has the feather, and here she has a picture of her mother so that her daughter can see the picture of her grandmother when she was young, like she is, right? Okay, so that she can also do some of her own memories as opposed to just her mom's memory. She got her, made her a little book so that she could, share down her memory so she could share it with her children. And so here are just some crocheted items that she had in her home, and she wanted her daughter to have a couple of pieces, and some doilies that she made herself, and she had hoped that her daughter would learn the same talent that she had, but I don't know, those young whippersnappers, she may not want to know. But this was her original book, and so she turned it into a journal for her daughter, and it's called Around the Tea Table. And so you open up in here, and here it is, Around the Tea Table. And it's from, the copyright is 1895. And then the rest of it is just a, like we call a naked journal, so that her daughter can write. And we now know things we find, they glued way back then, so that maybe she can use this and create her own memories that, she can eventually share with her daughter. Oh, I had put some of my little plaster cloth in there because, she loved her little artsy stuff to do. She was a little plasterer, and that is that. I'm exhausted. It's hard to make up stories. Oh. Okay, now I gotta put all the stupid stuff back together again. Okay, let's put the stuff back. Okay, now how did I do that? I don't know how I had this tied up. Oh well. Okay, I think like that. Yeah, I think so. Let me throw it all in, because if I don't, then I'll end up losing something. I know myself. I know myself. I will put something somewhere where it shouldn't be, and then where did that go? What happened to that? I don't know. Uh-oh. See? She's losing all her precious stuff. She almost lost her pearls 2 times. Okay. Uh-oh. You know that uh-oh sound. It's never good. Now, we know this all came out of there. Oh, well. It's just going to have to go that way. I think it didn't shut. That's okay. It's all good. You can't forget the tatting. You know, I had this stuff even before I knew what it was. And not until I started seeing all of these sales and they're talking about tatting this and tatting that. I think, oh my goodness, I've been giving this stuff away in Happy Mail and making it like, oh, this is pretty. Someone might like that. Hello. I hardly have any left because I think I gave it all away. Oh my goodness. And this, I'm going to trim it up with a little lace here and there and there and there, but that's not done yet. But anyway, but you know, just to cover up the cobwebs, you know what I mean? Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had so much fun doing this. Unbelievable. It was because I hadn't done the gilding in so long, and I loved when I used to do it. And so it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was fun. It's like bring back old memories when I was learning how to do it, and all of the mistakes I made and how patient, you know, the guy was, and all that kind of good stuff. So well, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Okay. So I don't think I have anything else to make. I mean, I have lots of things to make, but we can't do it all in one night, no. Gilding is really, really interesting. It's a very, very hard thing to do. There's 100 different ways you can make mistakes, and they're costly mistakes because you're dealing with gold. And I mean, you can make mistake just putting the gesso on. If you don't put that layer on evenly, basically you've ruined all the carving because the carving was done perfect. And so when you start putting that layer on, and if you put it thicker here and thinner here, then it gives the illusion that the carving was done wrong. And you know the carving was done right. You're the one that messed it up if you put the gesso on wrong. I did the fake. I didn't have, yes, I put, it's funny when you said gesso, I'm thinking of the real gesso. Yes, I did. I did put it over the celluloid. I just pretended, you know, like I was just doing it all from scratch. So what I did is I thickened up the gesso a little bit and put it on. I put it thin, and then I sanded it, and then I put another thin one, and then I sanded it. I put maybe two or three thin coats and sanded in between each one. The elephant one? Yeah. Sure. Sure. Now, if you guys have a spine that is too narrow for what you want, this particular spine, I widened it. If you see a regular book, let me think. Yeah. Only 100 million books in here, and there's no books like real close right here. But anyway, you know when you open up a book, there's a word for it. I don't know what it is, but you know that gap that's between the spine and where the board to the front begins, and you have that natural dip that's in there. Well, what I did is I took out the cardboard from the spine and kind of stretched it out open and eliminated, you know, those little gaps and the dip, and then made a hard cardboard that went from the cardboard of the front to the cardboard of the back, which gave you almost, well, gave you that much more on either side. So it made this so much bigger. It made it twice as big as it was, because this was very narrow. You can see how narrow it was right here. That's how big it was. So I pretty much doubled it. Because I figured it's so big, it needs to be thick. It can't be a, you know, skinny little spiny thing. I wouldn't have liked that look anyway. So that's one way you guys can, if instead of tearing it all apart and putting a fake spine, you can separate and widen the existing spine that you have if you only need maybe a, you know, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch more, and then you can keep it all intact. Anyway, so did you want to see the cover? You want to see the whole? What did you want to see, CJ? It was you, CJ, right? Oh, the inside, sure. I left this just the way it is, only because there's a little bit of writing, and I love to keep the writing, so I didn't cover it. I could have, you know, put something on there, but I didn't. I took some of my eco-printed manila folders and put them as the first signature so that you could put, I thought of this as a travel journal, someone who travels and has all their goodies and stuff. So I put that in the front so that they could, you know, put stuff in, put postcards as they're traveling, or memorabilia that they're, you know, ephemera they're collecting, and they could put it, you know, in there and have some cool stuff. Like this one here, you know, it's got some cool stuff in here, and that opens up like that. And there's things to write on, and then there's stuff to write on in here. And then in the back, you can write on things in here. So I envisioned, oh, you could take this with you running around, or just write on it when they were in the hotel. I'm talking about old times, you know, on the plane and stuff. And then come back and put it in their journal. And then just some envelopes and stuff to play with, and a card and things like that. And then it's just pretty much naked. Only thing on it, I stamped the different travel and postage stamps that I had. And then everything is either coffee, Everything's naturally stained because some of them are plant stained, some of them are avocados, some are coffee, some are tea, some are, you know, whatever. But everything is dyed with something. You just may not want to know what. But it's all natural. All natural. And then I put some of the pages of that same one that I put in the other book. It was from an old magazine from 1915. So it already was kind of blotchy, so I just made it blotchier. And then in here is just some stuff to write in and a map of Europe during that time period. And then just some more of the travel stamps. E, I don't know what for, but it's there. Europe. There you go. Europe. Stole it off of the train station. East, get off on East something, and he stole it off as ephemera. You know how those guys are. Can't keep their hands off E's. And then this just has some little stuff, little postcard thingamajiggers and airmail, and I think he went to the University of Texas or something. Exchange student. There you go. He's an exchange student. He's from Europe, but he went to the University of Texas. There you go. So he's a traveler. He's a traveling man. Oh, and this one went in upside down. But you didn't notice that. And what's in here? I don't remember. Oh, just fun stuff to write on. You know, more fun things to, just places to put more goodies in. And this came from that album, like I mentioned before, one of the albums. So I just stuck in a little postcard. And all of these journal pages, the ones that have writing on them, or even the ones that don't, they're from like 1890 something. Whoops. They're old. They're vintage. And oh, more travel stuff. Travel memories. And more goodies to play with. Some cards. Daily details, very important. Oh, that's when he went to Japan. Road trip. Oh, Australia. The Outback, of course. He has to go to the Outback. You're not a traveler if you don't go to the Outback. Oh, how rude. Oh, R must be O for his lovely rosemary. He found one of those somewhere in Tibet. I don't know. Up on a mountain. Somebody was littering and left the R. He picked it up for me. And then back, another one of the eco-dyed thingamajiggers with more stuff for you to write on or mail or whatever. Oh, check out the months that you were gone, when you're coming back. Oh, the best moments that you had, wherever it was. It must have been, his best moment must have been in Tibet when he found the trash for me. He knew I loved trash. And then another one of those little doohickeys so that you can write on and put your little stuff. And ta-da! I'm exhausted again. It's too big. Too big. I'm exhausted. Oh, gosh. Anyway, so that was fun. See, my husband, well, I'm sure most of you, if you ladies make stuff and you spend a lot of time making stuff, and if you sell your stuff, inevitably, usually, the man looks at it practically, right? So his first thing is, what are you selling that for? I said, I don't know. He goes, how much time did you put into it? I don't know. Well, how are you going to know what you can? I said, that's not the point, Richard. That's not the point. And he just doesn't get, even though, of course, if we do sell things, we have to be practical and not just give the stuff away. But they look at it purely, I guess because we use a lot of ledger papers, they think we're thinking numbers all the time. But but I think they're all the same. I think they're sort of like, they're just, I guess they're being practical, and we're looking at it artistically, because almost all ladies, I think you're probably going to all agree, almost all of you, even if you sell your stuff, you probably say, I would be making it anyway. Even if I didn't sell it, I would still be playing with my paper. I'd still be doing this. I'd still be doing that. But, now I just look at it with a little different slant at how maybe a customer might want something, as opposed to 100% what I want, even though it's probably 95% what I want. And you got to throw a little something that, whatever's trending or whatever people like and stuff like that. But I don't, I refuse to give people what they want. I try to convince them of what they want because it's what I like to make. And so I think that's the trick. You got to convince them that they want what you like making, as opposed to making what they think they like. Right? I think that makes sense. It does to me. It gets me through the day, whether it makes any sense or not. It gets you through the day. Oh, they want to talk to me. Oh, okay, fine. My husband will like that. Okay, so without further ado, for those of you that are new, you may not know Baba Louie. Does everybody here know Baba Louie? Who knows Baba Louie? Do you guys know Baba Louie? Oh, okay. So here's the fun part. For those of you that already know him, I know you love him. And if you don't know him, excuse me, but I got to be a little immodest. Hold on. I know some of you nasty ladies heard the zipper. Hold on. I hope his battery's working. I think it was working. Baba Louie. Say, hello, ladies. Tell him your name. Say, I'm Baba Louie. I'm so easily amused, I swear. Oh my gosh. Hey, at least it's not. Stop it. At least it's not a scary clown. I couldn't handle that. Oh, stop it! Stop it! Poor Baba Louie. He's so misunderstood. Hey, come back. Come here. Come back. Come back. Now, there's some other things. I don't know how he exactly works. It's a scary thing. I really don't know how. Stop it. Okay. There's little buttons on here, and I don't know what they do. What do they do, Baba Louie? I don't know what that was. Okay, let's turn that one off. Okay, what does this one do, Baba Louie? Oh, he dances. Hey, come back. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Hey, 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 watch it. Stop it. Be good. Oh God, I thought he was gonna see. I don't know how to turn him off without turning this button off. I gotta go and watch out, ladies. Don't get excited. Stop it. Okay. All right. Okay. Time for nap. Time to go to sleep. I only play with him like once a week because he would probably drive me insane too. But that's okay. I never had children, so I'm not like getting flashbacks, from the kids drove me crazy or something like that. So he's okay. I can handle him because I know where his batteries are. Oh my goodness. I think he's so cute. I can't help it. Okay, ladies. Anything else, or are we done? You let me know. He is cute. Oh, and thank you, Laura, for being up. It is late for you. Thank you so much for staying up. I know this is like, past your bedtime. Okie dokie. Talk to me. Thank you, Carla. I'm glad you guys came. I know, because I don't do it regularly, so it was kind of hard to know what I was going to do it. But all I did was say next week. So I really appreciate you guys coming by. And I hope you make some of these. And I'd love to see what you guys do. I know some of you are in my group, and some of them are in Brooke's group. So wherever you are, make something and just tag me, tag my name so I can kind of see what you guys made. It'd be kind of fun to see what you guys do with it. What did Laura say? Yes. In summary. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys got a lot to work with. You can make your tape now and make everything look all vintagey, and you can make your little secret compartments, and you know how to gild. Now you know you don't want to gild, And Amazon has various kinds of Babalui. They range anywhere from depending on the company, anywhere from $8 to $18. I got the $8 one. I don't think I could handle the $18 one, so eight was enough for me. And I don't even know. I don't remember what his name, what the company was, but I would say I don't know. Talking donkey. I don't know. They had little pigs and they had different animals, but I liked him. I thought he was cute. He looked like he was up to no good from the moment I saw him. Oh, me. No, no. My goodness, poor Baba Louie. Don't listen. I know you got big ears, but don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Poor thing. Oh, no, don't listen. Don't listen. Okay, ladies. I will talk to you guys whenever I'm going. Actually, I was supposed to go today. Our library, our local library, is having a book sale, and it's nonfiction, which meant I would probably find stuff with flowers and birds and things like that. But last night we had torrential rains. When we got up in the morning, not our street, we live on 6th Street, but 7th Street was completely flooded. The fire department was there. They were pulling people out on rafts. Just one street from us, but fortunately, we live obviously at a little angle, or else we would have been part of the flood. But 5th Street is flat, and then on the alley of 5th Street coming to 6th, it's just a slight slope that just keeps going further and further up, and we're on that slope. So we're very fortunate. We're not in any low-lying area. But all that got flooded, and then where our library is that was having the sale is kind of in a lowland too. There's like a little hills, and it's kind of in the lowland. So my husband called over there in the morning and they said, "Yep, we're flooded." So the sun was out today. Hopefully everything drained out, and so I will go tomorrow. So it's better off because it's 50% off tomorrow. So maybe I will find some fun stuff. Who knows? Maybe. If it doesn't rain tonight. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, it's horrible. Okay, ladies. Thank you again so much. And I hope I've inspired you, even if you don't do what I did, but maybe inspire you to use this as a kickoff point to think of something that you can use it in an alternate fashion or apply certain things to stuff that you're doing. That's what it's all about, inspiring one another to see something maybe a little differently and then apply it to the stuff that we already like making. All right, I don't know when I'll be back, but hopefully you will come and join me and we can have some fun again. All right, see you in some other people's streams. Thank you. Good night, everybody.